Ever get that creepy feeling like someone's watching you, even when you're totally alone?
Yeah.
Now ramp that up times 10 and put yourself in the middle of a hospital ICU.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're going deep on this one. We've got a story from a nurse who experienced some seriously spooky stuff in their hospital, specifically in a wing dealing with some pretty intense cases.
Hospitals, especially older ones, they just seem to have all those ghost stories, right?
Oh.
Like they've seen it all. Joy, sorrow.
Yeah, definitely sets the stage for some heightened emotions, maybe makes you more sensitive to things you wouldn't normally notice.
Ah.
But this nurse's story, it goes beyond just a feeling,
Oh, yeah.
way beyond.
Okay.
So what kind of stuff are we talking about here?
So they described these two rooms. They were designed for multiple patients originally, but now they're only used for patients on ECMO, which, by the way, requires a whole lot of specialized equipment.
ECMO,
Yeah.
just for our listeners who might not be familiar.
Yeah, ECMO. It stands for extracorporeal membrane oxygenation. Basically, it's a life support system for patients whose heart or lungs are failing. Super complex. Round-the-clock monitoring.
Intense.
Intense is right. Adds to the already high-stakes atmosphere of an ICU. And these rooms, where the line between life and death is, well, constantly blurred, they seem to be where all the strange stuff goes down.
We're talking call bells ringing when the room's empty, TVs switching on by themselves, even those motion-activated soap dispensers going off, with no one around.
Yep. Makes you wonder, right? Is it the equipment picking up on something we can't see, some kind of energy?
Right. You'd think, logically, faulty wiring, maybe
Yeah.
a draft, equipment malfunction.
Sure, that's a first thought.
Easy answer. But is it that simple?
Well, the nurse says these aren't just one-offs. It happens all the time. And always in those same rooms.
So something else is going on.
Seems like it. What's really interesting is the nurse also describes feeling watched all the time, like a presence.
Whoa. Imagine trying to work with that hanging over you.
I can't even imagine. Tough job as it is.
Right. And that feeling of being watched, you can't explain that away with faulty wiring.
Nope, you can't. And the nurse acknowledges the possibility of logical explanations, but
But
the frequency, the consistency, always the same rooms, it pushes beyond that.
it's almost like their mind is fighting with itself,
Exactly.
wanting a rational explanation, but feeling like something else is going on.
It makes you question your own senses.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've got the strange events, specific rooms with a history. Could there be other factors at play?
Yeah.
I mean, working in the ICU, it's got to be stressful.
Oh, incredibly. We're talking life or death situations every day. Could that environment affect how you perceive things?
You mean like maybe your mind plays tricks on you because of the stress?
Yeah, like you're primed to see threats, even if they aren't really there. It's called hypervigilance, common in healthcare workers.
Makes sense. Always on high alert, could lead to misinterpreting things, maybe even hallucinations.
Exactly. Plus, fatigue, emotional strain, it all adds up.
So our brains try to make sense of it all, create patterns, explanations, even if there aren't any.
Right. It's like our minds want there to be a reason.
So is it all in their head? Or is something else happening?
That's the million-dollar question.
It really is. We've got this nurse's account, these strange events, the possibility of psychological factors, a lot to unpack.
What does it all mean? Are we just misinterpreting things?
Or are we tapping into something we don't fully understand? Some kind of energy.
Maybe. Or maybe there's a scientific explanation we haven't discovered yet.
It's fascinating to think about. What's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this?
I think it's this. Be open to the unexplained, but also know that our minds are powerful. They can influence what we perceive. We don't have all the answers, but exploring these questions, even without concrete conclusions, it helps us understand ourselves and the world better.
And that's what these deep dives are all about. Who knows what mysteries we'll uncover next time?
Exactly. Always more to learn.
Thanks for diving in with us today.
My pleasure.